Hi there, welcome to the Upcycle Design Lab. My name's Cindy and I craft using recycled and repurposed materials to give you ideas on ways to make and create more economically and ecologically. Several months ago I bought a Cricut cutting machine and I've been wanting to cut some recycled items with it. But to be honest, I was a little nervous to cut unauthorized materials with my Cricut cutting machine. Fortunately, I'm not the first person to think of this, so I watched some other YouTube videos and I got up the courage to try to cut some aluminum cans on my Cricut cutting machine. And it actually worked really well. So come on into the lab and I'll show you how I did it. For this project, you're going to be using some aluminum cans and you want to make sure that you have them flattened. I will be posting a link shortly and I'll put it in the comment section or the description box of this video on a quick way to flatten the cans. I've been using my medium grip mat for this and I like to line up my sheets just a little bit over the 1-inch marker so that I can put the tape lined up with the 1-inch marker at the top and the first edge so that I know how to line up my artwork on the Cricut Design Space. And the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you tape down all of your edges. So what I mean here is I want to be able to cut to this 1-inch line. So I'm going to line up my art right there. So I don't want to tape any farther in than that 1-inch line. And I know on my art that I have quite a bit of room at the bottom, so I'm not worried too much about that. And then again, I'm going to line my tape up with my 1-inch line. And on the other side, I just want to catch a little bit of the edge that I can. You do want to make sure that you have all 4 edges secured down with the tape. And that's it. You're ready to put it in the cutting machine. So I'm in Cricut Design Space here, and I'm going to find my project. It's just this simple little Valentine theme here. So I'll go ahead and open that up. If you want to customize designs, you can, but I'm just going to go ahead and make it. And for my particular design, I set it up to do engraving and cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that works. You can obviously just do the basic cut if you want to. And what I did earlier is I had my art lined up at the 1-inch marker, so I need to move my art here. So I'm going to line my design up with the 1-inch marker at the top and in 1 inch so that I'm cutting it in the right place. And then I'm just going to hit continue. And it's telling me I need to connect to my machine. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my cords in to let my machine let my machines talk to each other. And I turn the power on. All right, so now I'm going to select the material that I'm cutting, and I want to go ahead and just browse all materials. I've been using this metal 40 gauge thin copper to cut the aluminum, and it has worked pretty well. So I'm just going to select that item. And now I'm ready to load the mat. Because my little light is flashing here. So I'll go ahead and put it in. And now you can see it's telling me to put my engraving tool in because I've got my just my fine blade in here. So I'm going to go ahead and swap out my blades. Just pop this guy open. And I've got my engraving tool here. I like to keep them in the package because I can't tell them apart. And it just goes in the same way. You can see it's detecting to make sure it has the right tool. Now it wants me to switch back to my fine point blade. And I can just push the go button again. So now I'm going to unload my mat by pushing the arrow button again and tell Cricut that I'm finished. And we're ready to remove the aluminum can from the mat now. So to take this off the mat, you want to curl the mat and not the aluminum can so that it doesn't coil back up and it stays flat. So what I mean by that is I'm going to try to kind of peel this back as I bend my mat instead of the aluminum can. So to weed this or get the pieces apart, you just need to sort of fold gently along one of the longer lines until it separates. And you can see I've got a little separation there now. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and just use my weeding tool to carefully separate right along that cut line. The corners are a little bit tricky. You want to just work with them gently. Sometimes you might want to use your fingers just to get it started. But it does come right apart once you get the first little bit started. So now you've got some shapes that you can use for scrapbooking or card making. You can also, if you're careful, use this piece as more of a template if you want to draw some shapes. And you can also add some embossing to the shapes if you want to, just to give them a little more dimension, which is what I've done on some of these. I think the arrow is very cute once you add a little embossing to it. And you can also add some alcohol inks to add a little bit of color. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on some ways that you can create with aluminum cans using your Cricut machine. So what do you think? Would you dare cut aluminum cans with your Cricut machine? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them in the comments as well. And you can check out more aluminum can projects in the playlist below, or click the video link to learn 7 t-shirt embellishment techniques you can use with your Cricut. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you back here soon in the lab.